So, just starting off with enzymes, let's take a look at the various key points I've got written down here. So, first of all, the definition of an enzyme. A biological catalyst that speeds up chemical reactions and remains unchanged in the process. So a catalyst is just something that speeds up a chemical reaction. But this is a biological catalyst that speeds up chemical reactions and remains unchanged. So it's often found in bodies. So they're found in the body, and also lots of cell processes and things like that. And enzymes are essential. Without them, we would die. Because in every living cell, chemical reactions must happen all the time for them to function properly, and so if they don't happen fast enough, the cell will die, which also impacts the whole multicellular organism. So this is why every cell needs enzymes, every cell produces enzymes, and we need them to carry out these reactions fast enough. So first of all, let's actually just look at understanding enzymes. So, as I just said, we went over the definition. Now, they are made in all living cells. They are specific to one substrate, and we'll see why this is in a second, but it's key to remember enzymes only work with one substrate, and we'll look at that in a second. They can be reused because they remain unchanged in the process, and they're essentially proteins, so they are made of amino acids. So now that we've gone over these kind of key points, let's actually draw the structure and dive into why they're specific to one substrate. So, just taking a look at the structure of an enzyme. Not the greatest diagram in the world, but this is usually what an enzyme is like. It has your basic shape, and then also what we call here the active site. And this is where your substrate binds, and it has a complementary shape to substrate. So that's why enzymes are only specific to one substrate, because the shape is complementary. The active site is complementary to the shape of the substrate. So that's why it only works with one substrate and specific to one reaction. So just so there's no confusion, let me just quickly jot down how we tend to refer to these enzyme reactions. So just looking at the reaction, we have substrates on the left, which is what's going into the reaction. So technically, for a type of reaction, enzymes have one reaction that they catalyze, and it can have more than one substrate, but in general, it's just good to remember they have one substrate. Technically, it's more like one reaction, but you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So they're specific to one substrate, and then the enzyme catalyzes the reaction, speeds it up, and produces the products at the end. So let's look at the two types of reactions we need to know for this course.